Hi there, good afternoon. I am Raleigh Brown, and this is another curve flattening concert. Someone recently asked why I call them curve flattening concerts. That's how short the memory can become. So at the beginning of the pandemic, in March of 2020, they talked about trying to flatten the curve of the catastrophic increase in COVID-19 deaths. So when I started these concerts, and my goal was to give people something to help them connect while they were stuck, sequestered in their apartments and houses. You remember that? If you don't, you better don't lose that. It's good to remember that that happened. And so I thought we were trying to flatten the curve in our own way. Here's to flattening that curve and to our community and having a good cup of coffee. I clink you, clink. And I will say some hellos here. I see some names. So Steve DeHaas was the first man in on YouTube. And then Slim Edelman, Mike Verbeek, Tom Dietz, Terry St. James up there in Montreal. Charlie Bryant actually here on time. I think he was suitably tuck-tail about being late a couple times. And Tom Gillum, so he can tune in for the rerun. S.A. Tudhope is here out in the great Northwest. Linda Worster in the great Western Mass. And Warren Bendler and maybe Janelle in South Euclid, Ohio. Kathy Marzik in upstate New York. Steve Davidson in Philly. Dana Jackson. And thanks for tuning in, Dana. Donna Greenberg is here, Connie Adams, and Charlie Bryant is apologetic, as well he might be. And Debbie Moore is here from up in Maine. So let me get a little music going here. I thought it would be a nice day for mostly some 60s folk music. The stuff I cut my teeth on. It's a lesson too late for the learning, made of sand, made of sand. In the wink of an eye, my soul is turning in your hand, in your hand. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? Well, I could have loved you better. I didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my mind. You've got reasons aplenty for going, this I know, this I know. For the weeds have been steadily growing. Please don't go, please don't go. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, I didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my mind. As we walk, all my thoughts are a-tumbling round and round, round and round. Underneath our feet the subway is rumbling underground, underground. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, I didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my mind. As I lie in my bed in the morning, without you, without you, every song in my breast dies a-borning. Without you, without you, are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? Well, I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my mind. The last thing on my mind, written by Tom Paxton, who is still going strong after all these years. Let me see who else has stopped in. I said hi up to about there. Kathy Marzik and Charlotte Cantrell, and Howard Hobbs is here from Minnesota, and Janet Clough, and Keith Shaw. I haven't seen you for a little bit, Keith. Michael Miller down there in North Carolina, Philip Tanswell in the UK and Suffolk, England, and like that. Good to see you all. Kind of not sure what order to do this in. I think I'll break it up a little and do the instrumental now. So I've been writing about Charlie the dog. Charlie is hidden behind the chair. He's a funny boy. But getting to be a better dog every day in every way. And I was writing about him on my Facebook page. I do the Charlie Diaries. And I mentioned that his nickname was the Flop-Eared Cannonball. And immediately people started commenting, you should write an instrumental by that name. And I said, I already did. And I've already performed it here, but now I will perform it for you again. So this is my dedication to Charlie the cattle dog, called the Flop-Eared Cannonball. So that's the flop-eared cannonball, and I hope it captures a little bit of Charlie's good-natured insouciance. Maybe I should call it the insouciant flop-eared cannonball, but maybe not. I see my old buddy Jim Greco is here, and see if I'm missing anybody else. Après Midi is here on YouTube. Good to see you. And let me see, just scrolling down here a little bit. Christopher Layden out there in Colorado. And thanks, Chris. I hope you're doing well. So the announcements, as usual, there is a PayPal and Venmo link right there. If you'd like to donate to the Charlie the Dog Educational, Veterinary, and Training Fund, Dog Sitting Fund. Pardon me, my coffee is rebelling. And the Invisibles, such as they are, Kit Serikaku might be back on Oahu now. I think she was getting ready to go back home. And Judith Fox and Joel Biget and my buddy Mario Prue. Mario built one of my best guitars. Now, this new guitar, anytime I get a new guitar, I go kind of nuts over it if it's going to be really special, and this one is really special. So I spent a whole bunch of time last night, one by one. I got out my main good guitars, 4 of them, and I set them down, the pre-war and my Martin, and I play one and I play the other, and I play one and I play the other, and kind of make some judgments about what's good and bad about each one. There's not much bad, I have to tell you. And with the Prue, it's the one that is closest in kind of volume and power and kind of rich tone to this one, and still very different. I almost got it out today, and maybe next concert, maybe on Sunday, I'll get them both out and switch back and forth on a tune, and you can hear the difference between them. But that Prue, that Mario Prue, the invisible Mario Prue built for me, is an astounding guitar. It's 10 years old now. This guitar is a brand new old guitar, a brand new old soul, and it is thoroughly amazing. So the schedule I am on right now, it's Wednesday. I believe tomorrow night Helen Avakian and David Irwin will be on at 8. I think it's 8 o'clock Eastern time. You can check Helen's page. Friday, I'm assuming Slim will be on at 3:30 and Bunny at 4 Eastern time. If Slim, if that's not correct, give us a holler here. And Slim says, I think Slim is saying that Kit's headed to South Korea. Okay, well, as long as she doesn't go to North Korea, we'll be okay. So Slim and Bunny potentially on Friday. On Saturday, Warren Bendler at 3 o'clock if he's doing his stream, if he can get away from Little Miss Wiggles. And Saturday morning, Dakota Dave Hull, 11 a.m. Eastern time for Guitar Day with Dakota Dave. And then I'll be back on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. And I will, of course, look forward to seeing you all then. Terry St. James says he wants Mario to repost. I'm not sure if he did it on my Prue, but he did it on one of his guitars. That song called "The Greatest," about a boy playing ball with himself in his fantasy world. It's a lovely song, and Mario does a great job of it. And Bunny is not doing a Friday threefer. She has a gig, and Warren is doing his show on Saturday, and Slim is doing his show on Friday. So there you have it, as far as I know, and as far as the denizens have reported. So we will move on. You know, sometimes I play guitar every day. I play guitar way more than Charlie would like. He kind of rolls his eyes when I pick up the guitar, which is almost all the time. But sometimes I get kind of stale. And so the other night I was feeling kind of stale, and I didn't want to play anything. I'd already worked through my hard instrumentals, and I thought, I'm going to go back and play some of the songs that I loved that really inspired me to play when I was young. And so Last Thing on My Mind was one of them, and the other two songs I'm doing today are also each in their own way that kind of song. And this one was a special favorite, and it still is. I still love it after all these years. Bob Dylan's song. Well, if you're traveling to the North Country Fair, where the wind hits heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there, for she once was a true love of mine. And if you go when the snowflakes storm, when the rivers freeze and summer ends, please see she has a coat so warm to keep her from the howling wind. And please see that her hair's hanging long, how it rolls and flows all down her breast. Please see for me that her hair's hanging long, for that's the way I remember her the best. Well, I'm wondering if she remembers me at all. Many times I've often prayed in the darkness of my nights, and in the brightness of my day. So if you're traveling to the North Country Fair, where the wind hits heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there, for she once was a true love of mine. The Girl of the North Country by Bob Dylan from his second album, The Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. His first album, he didn't have, he only did, I think, one original song on it. He did Song for Woody Guthrie. And he hadn't quite gotten ready to share the songs he was writing with the world. But the second album, he just cut loose, and he recorded Don't Think Twice. He recorded that. I think Hard Rain's Gonna Fall. Just a bunch of amazing songs. And for this last one, this came, it was also in the 60s, I remember, because I saw Phil perform it live when he first wrote it at La Cave in Cleveland, and that had to have been in the 60s, because I was out of there by around 1970. And it was a departure for him. When I first heard Phil Ochs, he was writing extremely biting political material, and he gradually got to a place where he wanted to just, and this is on an album of the same name, Pleasures of the Harbor, and one of the quotes on the album, he said, is in such an ugly time, the true protest is beauty, and this song certainly did that for me. And the ship sets the sail, they've lived the tales to carry to the shore, straining at the oar or staring from the rail. And the sea bids farewell, she waves and swells, sends them on their way. Time has been her pay, and time will have to tell. Oh, soon your sailing will be over. Now come and take the pleasures of the harbor. And the anchor hits the sand. The hungry hands have tied them to the port. The hour will be short for leisure on the land. And the girls scent the air. They seem so fair with paint upon their face. Soft is their embrace to lead you up the stair. Soon your sailing will be over. Now come and take the pleasures of the harbor. In the room, dark and dim, a touch of skin, he asks her of her name. She answers with no shame and not a sense of sin. Till the fingers draw the blind, a sip of wine, the cigarette of doubt. The candle is blown out, the darkness is so kind. Oh, soon your sailing will be over. Now come and take the pleasures of the harbor. And the shadows frame the light. The same old sight, the thrill has gone away. Now all alone they lay, two strangers in the night, till his heart skips a beat. He's to his feet, to shipmates he must join. She's counting up the coin. He's swallowed by the stream. Oh, soon your sailing will be over. Now come and take the pleasures of the harbor. In the bar hangs a cloud. The whiskey's loud, there's laughter in their eyes. The lonely in disguise are clinging to the crowd. And the bottle fills the glass. The haze is fast. He's trembling for the taste of passion gone to waste in memories of the past. Oh, soon your sailing will be over. Now come and take the pleasures of the harbor. In the alley, wet with rain, a cry of pain, for love was but a smile, teasing all the while, now dancing down the drain, till the boys reach the dock. They gently mock and lift him on their backs, to lay him on his rack, to sleep beneath the clock. Soon your sailing will be over. Now come and take the pleasures of the harbor. And the ship sets the sail. They've lived the tale to carry from the shore, straining at the oar or staring from the rail. And the sea bids farewell. She waves and swells and sends them on their way. Time has been her pay, and time will have to tell. Soon your sailing will be over. Now come and take the pleasures of the harbor. Pleasures of the Harbor by Phil Ochs. I'm going to check back and kind of see if I missed any people here. There I am. Rhonda Scott Merrick. I think I said hello to you. No, I didn't. You're late. Well, you can go back and re-listen. Ken Terrell is here from the British Isles, and I think that's about it. I think I said hi to most of the rest of you. So I thank you as usual for joining me here. It's a pleasure. pleasure to see your names and your little thumbnail faces, and I'll go back and read your comments in a little while. Be happy, be healthy, and be brave and calm. Be kind, it's a snap, and if you get cranky, take a nap. Take a nap. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys down the road.